Hi everyone, it's Monday night, so it's time to do some crafting together and do some sharing. So welcome, I'm so glad you're joining me. And just as we go down to the desktop, why don't you leave in the comment section what your first job was? My first job, well, I guess my very first job was delivering newspapers. It was the morning newspaper, and my brother and I rode bicycles many, many miles to deliver those papers. And then it was a summer job babysitting three little boys all summer long, and then after that it was waitressing. So I guess I gave you more than my first job, but I kind of jumped around a little bit there. So leave a comment, let us know what your first job was, and we will go down to it. So here we go. You can see the hostess code. If ever you're wanting to place an online order and are not sure what the hostess code is, you can always double check my newsletter, or you can check the top of my Facebook page. I always have it posted there as well. Or you can actually just fire me off an email or a message and ask, and I will tell you that. So there's where you shop online, and that is the hostess code right there. So now let's just see. There are a few things I want to tell you about. I'm just making sure that I have the computer up and I can see your comments and that I've shared it to my Facebook group. Yes, I like to have it in both places because then people can see it in both places. So there we go. We're all set. I just have to hit post. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? So first thing to share here is, so Marilyn, yeah, yours was babysitting too. And then after high school, an accounting office in a local card dealership. Was that right? Were you, or a car dealership? Either way, that's pretty neat, and I see many of you on. Just a few things I wanted to touch base on. Hi, everyone. The Altogether suite. I'm using this suite as one of my projects this month in my stamp club called Stamping Time. And so I just wanted to highlight it again because it is only available to the end of May. So it's such good stuff, especially with all that's happening in the world. So there's the stamp set and the die, or you can get it as a bundle and save 10%. And this is for a limited time of only while supplies last. So these are just too perfect for letting people know that you matter. And then the designer paper is black and white, so it's perfect to use as is or add color to. That's what I love about black and white paper. It is 6 by 6, and again, it is only while supplies last. And one more time, the Neutrals collection. So it's got colors for almost every color of skin you can imagine, but also works great for nature pictures, animals, that kind of thing. These blends were brought out to go with this collection, but they are going to be in the next catalog, which, by the way, is pretty wonderful. So here is the card that we're making in our stamp club this month. So it's designed so that it can be done virtually as well. So they can use whatever stamp set they want. And I did the die cutting. Now, if you'll notice, the die is actually U matter and it's connected, but it's easy to snip it apart. So we've got the U here and the matter in there. And so this is the designer paper. This die, the Stitch So Sweetly, is retiring, so, and it's one of my go-tos. And then they're going to have scrap designer paper to do the envelope and the inside as well. So just a little heads up about that. Also, I've shown you different times the waves of the ocean, and again, now this one, the stamp set and die will be in the new catalog, but the papers, the gorgeous designer paper, the foils papers, and the rhinestones will not, and the rhinestones are already sold out. So these are only while supplies last, and they're gorgeous. This also comes as a bundle. So just a heads up about that. And a heads up about one more thing, and that is Stamping Staycation. We're so excited. Registrations have been coming in steadily, and the numbers are growing, so we're going to have a lot of fun together. I would just suggest you register sooner rather than later, and that's because in another week's time, well, there's stuff happening there. We're visiting there on the Facebook page now. It's a private one, but pretty soon we're going to start some different challenges and be sharing some projects, pre-event projects with you. So you want to be getting in there earlier rather than later. So register now and take advantage of that. And last but not least, today is the last day to register for my New Horizons class. This is one of the cards that I will teach you how to make. Now you can either, so this is the last day you can register and still get the kit and all of that. But if you have your own supplies and just want the handout and the video, you can order that later. But I will put the link in the description after our Facebook Live tonight for that class. So there we go. And that's all my chit chat for tonight. I think we are ready to go. So we're going to talk tonight and play with a little bit tonight. Something that I think is overlooked a lot of the time. So I'm going to check in the index to find the page. Don't you love how the indexes now are in alphabetical order and they show a little portion so we can find things quickly? So we're going to look at the Heart and Home Memories and More card pack. Long name for an excellent thing. So it's on page 59. Let's turn to page 59 right here. And it's shown as part of this whole gorgeous suite of products. And it's right here on the page. We're going to talk about these tonight because I think a lot of people have missed seeing them. You also take a good look at the designer paper because this is gorgeous paper and the back of each one of them is actually wood grain with the gray. So again, you could add color to it. You could sponge over top and make it any color you wanted. And then the designs on the front are really neat too. So we're talking about this. Now, there are Memories and More packs in all the catalogs when they come out. So let's take a look in the annual catalog. Where are they there? They are right here on page 127. And there's one that is printed like, so along the same line as what we're using tonight. And then there's plain white. And I've heard so many of you say, I love it when I have a kit from you because everything's all ready. Well, guess what? These are card bases that are all ready, and I'm going to show those to you at the end. So let's get going here. Put these out of the way. Bring in what we're working with. So this is the pack, and I only have a portion of it. So when you take things out of it, there are two different sizes of cards. There's this nice big card, and it's already scored, and it goes down the middle like that, and then you've got a card just ready to go. Yes, it is larger than our regular size cards. So let me just grab something here. Our regular size cards are like that. So it's the same width, but it's taller. How tall, you say? Well, it is 6 1/4 inches tall or wide, whichever way you want to go. So there's that one there. And then they have the matching envelope. So it's even blue. Look at that. And then striped on the inside. So that just would look so nice together like that. And then they have a smaller card, and it is the wood grain just like the designer paper, and it is scored too. So they're cut and scored all ready to go. So there's that. I'm going to move that out of the way. So this is 3 1/4 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall. So a little bit bigger than a 3x3 card. So here's a 3x3 card, and it's a little bit wider and quite a bit taller. So that is a neat shape as well. And then these neat envelopes. So they are cinnamon cider. So we've got it like that. So I was playing around, and as you know, I've been playing with get some of this out of the way here. Making a mess. Playing with the New Horizons suite of products, and I thought, oh, I wonder. So I used the card this way. I just popped some designer paper on a bit of Blackberry Bliss cardstock, did a little stamping on it, a few of those pebbles, tucked a little ribbon behind, and just like that, I have a card with a matching envelope. Can you imagine making a set of cards like of these for somebody? I think it would be so neat. So that was just one idea I had. So let's go down and see what I'm going to make tonight. So when I was playing around with these, I thought, boy, I like those two together, not just apart. So I'm going to step it up, and I'm going to combine the two, because then I thought, well, I could make it go like that and make it a fun fold. So I am stepping up this a little bit, and so this is my plan. All right, so then I thought it might look nice just to have a bit of misty moonlight underneath like that, and I just started to go. So let's make the card together here. So the misty moonlight is actually 3 3/8 by 4.5. Why the 3/8? Because we don't need a border on this side. It's going to be flush to the edge. Then the beautiful vellum doilies are retiring. Did you know that? And I thought that would just dress it up a little bit. I had a piece of them, and they are regularly, I'll show you the whole one. Here's what a whole one looks like that, and there's a whole bunch in a package, and they're regularly sell in Canada for $6.75, and they're on sale for $5.40. So there are lots of bargains on that last chance rack. So I thought that would look really neat, just poking out of there. It would just add a little touch. Now, if you're making this for a guy, you might not want to do that, but I'm going the floral route here. So I'm not too worried about that. And I'm going to just run some seal down there. And I should bring in my mat here so that I don't make too big a mess. And I just want a little bit peeking out. I think about like that. And let's see, how will that look on there? Yeah. I like that. So we'll take this off, and we're going to put this on. Oops, this one's just about dead. Better get the other one. I always have two on the, well, that one is dead. Well, I have a third one ready because I knew they were both starting to run out. So that's where we will go. We will go with the third one. So now I want to put this right along here. Now, if you like this style of card, you could just cut cardstock regular size and then cut a flap to go over. That would be really easy to do. And I was, Marilyn and I see Marilyn's on tonight. We took a course, and one of the suggestions in the course was to bring in your Stamparatus, which I forgot to set this up ahead of time. And if you have trouble getting things lined up straight, you can bring it in and go like that, and then you've got everything lined up. So you've got a solid edge to butt it up against. You simply scored would work the same way too. So then we can make sure the edges are totally flush. So there's a little tip that I just learned. So now we've got it like this, and we're going to be putting this on here like that. But before we do that, we need to make the card, right? And we need to make it so it goes like this. Now I'm going to show you what I started out doing, and I'll also share a boo-boo that happened, and then I'm going to share what I am going to do. So, Sue, you butted up at the edge of your cutter. That would be perfect too. So I first off used basic gray and stamped the floral image, this floral image here from the Heart and Home, or Blessings of Home stamp set. And I stamped it on here, and then I used my blending brushes and blended the ink on there, and it was working out not too badly. I was fairly happy, except I stuck my fresh freesia brush into the soft succulent and got a little green here, and I thought, oh, I'm not too thrilled with that. But guess what? There are two sides, right? I can put the glue on this side instead, and now I've got a fresh side to work on. So now, that's just to show you that's one option of what you could do. We're going to go a little bit different here. We're going to bring in some scrap basic white and our basic gray and our ink, or stamp, pardon me. Just like that. And we're going to stamp it. And we're going to be cutting it out. That's why I just kind of went wherever. And so now I'll just close up the basic gray. And then I'm going to bring in my blends and do some coloring. So I'll start with my fresh freesia on the flowers. And there's no right or wrong way to use your blends. One of the reasons I like to use blends is sometimes my wrist, I don't know if it's got arthritis, likely, but there's no pressure involved in blends. They just go on smoothly and lightly. You always make sure there's something underneath because they can soak through. Now you can see that the Stampin' Up! Artists have shown where it needs to be dark. That's where they've got done their little etching. So I'm taking my dark fresh freesia blends, and I never worry too much about it. That's the other joy. I just kind of put a bit down. Then I bring in my light, and some people do it the reverse. Some people like the other end, the brush end, because there are two ends. And I kind of pull that dark out and then just color in like that. And if you want, you can layer the colors up and get lots of definition. So if I say, oh, I think I'd like it a little bit darker in there, I can add it in and keep working. So the green actually shows it up, likely even a little better. I use the pale papaya for the center of the flowers. I'm not going to do all the coloring because I did it ahead of time just to save some time and not bore you to tears. So I'm going to use the dark where they've got the dark. Just follow that. There's a little more contrast with this particular color. This is soft succulent. And then blend it up like that. And you can work the join up a little bit so that it blends together. And as it dries, it actually does a beautiful job. Then we also have something called a color lifter. And again, it has the nib end and the brush end. And you can just remove just a bit of color and add sort of color highlights and that kind of thing too. So just pretend that you've watched me color the whole thing, and voila, there it is. Because yes, we have dies that match that. These are the dies. So there's this for the big blossom here. There's the little one, and then there's some dies that you can just add greenery with. So I always love that. And you know how I like to do my little cheat sheet. So there it is right there, like that. So wonderful, wonderful bundle. So now we've got this done. My plan now is to put that on here, but I need some words. So I'm going to bring in some scrap white, and that same stamp set has the words, "Have a perfect birthday." So I'm going to bring in soft succulent, not soft succulent, pardon me, fresh freesia. And I'm going to stamp that once. And then I'm going to clean it. You can use your chamois or your Stampin' Scrub. There it is. And now I'm going to stamp it again in Misty Moonlight. So that goes with the everything that we're doing. And again, I'm not worried about too much of anything here because I'm cutting it apart. So there we go. And this is something that I like to do with words just to add a little bit of interest. So I'll bring in my snips. And I want to have the word perfect stand out. So I'm going to have the perfect in the fresh freesia. Just like that. And it took me a long while to relax and just cut however. I used to always think it all had to be perfect, but it doesn't. And then I want have a in Misty Moonlight. So there we go. We've got have a. I think you can see where I'm going with this. And then I want the word birthday. So this is where your scrap paper comes in great. There, so we've got it like that. We'll get our scraps out of the way and let's make a plan. Notice I'm not gluing it down to the card just yet because I want to see how it's going to go. So have a perfect, okay, no, let's see, have a perfect birthday, something like that. Okay, so this is a little bouncy. I'm going to put that there and everything's going to go on dimensionals. So we will bring in our dimensionals and we'll stick the flowers down first because we can always make the words work around the flowers, right? Okay, and I think I'm going to bring in my minis. You can always cut your dimensionals too, but I've got the minis out and ready to go. So I'm going to do that. There we go. Peel those backings off. Move this out of the way, I think. And so, do I want to go like that or go like that? I'll just go straight. And now, a mini dimensional is kind of too big. So what I'm going to do is our dimensionals have edgings. And I'm going to just trim a little bit off the edge here, keeping it nice and skinny. And that way I can get the words on dimensionals. I could just glue them down too, but I do kind of like dimensionals. So now I've got this little skinny piece. Turn it over. I'll be rearranging them again because I'll have it all mixed up and forget what I'm going to do. Do you ever do that? Make a plan and then lose the plan in the process of gluing things down? So there we've got have a perfect. Oh, you like my coloring? Well, thank you, Linda. I always think it doesn't look good, and then when I walk away and it dries, I come back and I go, ooh, I like that. I love our blends. You really just can't go too far wrong with our blends. Trust me, I've tried. I think I've done all kinds of things with them, and I just love that they go on so smoothly and they don't take any pressure from your hand. Okay, so it seems to me I started with, whoops, that's perfect. I don't want to do that. I want have a. I started with have a going sort of like that, and then perfect coming down like, yeah, about like that. So that's just a fun other way to use your words. Perfect birthday. I'm just going to rest it to see if I like that. As long as that's going to be good enough, right? So now we're ready to put it on the card. So to work my perfect placement on the card, what I'm going to do is put it where I want it. So now I've got trying to get equal border around here. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to hold it in place, open it up, and this is where I'm going to put the glue, and no one's going to know that I mucked up that side, right? So I'm just going to hold that and then close this, give it a good burnish, and there we have it, just like that. And then we have a fun fold. Now what can you do in here? You could add another piece of Misty Moonlight, or you could add another piece of white. It really is your choice. You could even bring in a piece of the designer paper if you happen to have that, and put it there, and then put another layer. So you could take it all different directions there. But let's finish up the front before we go any farther. Now I thought a couple of these ribbons matched. There's this denim ribbon that we have that looks really pretty with the barn type of thing, but there's a cotton ribbon combo pack in the mini catalog as well, and this went perfectly. So I thought, because of the Misty Moonlight here, I thought that's the route I would go. I tied it already. I'm going to just use a mini glue dot to put that on here, and we'll just, right about there. That looks good. Now we have a few embellishments, which I have misplaced somewhere here. I will just bring them in. I've been doing too many different projects, and just have to find them. Here they go. These are called iridescent rhinestones, and these tend to pick up whatever color they're on. Now these are in the mini catalog, so they're available now, but here's the news. They are going to be in the new catalog as well. So we're get to have them for a whole other year at least. So now we just have to decide, where do we want these? And they come in 3 sizes. So you know what? I'm going to start with the biggest one, because sometimes I have trouble using my biggest embellishment. So let's just see. We'll try one here and one here. And then one of the little ones. Let's just see. Should we put it on up here or on one of the leaves? I think I'll put it on a leaf. There we go. So there we go. There is our card. We didn't have to do, well, we did, if we hadn't done this, we wouldn't have had to do any cutting of paper. We could have stamped right on here, and it would have been very simple and quick. But this is a way of stepping it up, and there you go. You have to get that stamp set. So it is a very pretty stamp set. And the fact that it has dies to go with it, wonderful. And I don't think it's a bundle in the new catalog. I do know the dies in the stamp set are in the new catalog, but I don't think it comes as a bundle in the new catalog. So I just wanted to share with you that Memories and More cards are super, super nice. They're great for adding the Memories and More cards onto them, but they're great to just use to build with too. So here are just the basic white ones. So again, they're the same size. The largest one is the same size as the blue striped. And then there's the smaller one. They come with the envelopes. You've got everything you need to just do a little stamping, and you're set to go. So if you're looking for some quick and easy cards, these types of things are really something you need to pay attention to. So don't overlook it. Look at all those little things in the catalog. How are any of you like me? It wasn't very long ago, I just discovered something in the annual catalog. We've had it for a year now, and I just discovered something for the first time. So look at all the little things and just have some fun with it. Now, show and tell. So I don't have tons of show and tell tonight, but I do have a few. So I saw a European demonstrator, she's either German or Dutch, or maybe Austrian, I don't know, share how to make these. So they look like a carrot, and they just look like this. I'm going to try to do a video because her measurements were in metric and they were also in whatever language she was speaking, and so I kind of made it up. But she had the idea. So these would sit at your table. You could have your carrot going sideways if you want, or you can have it sitting up like this. So I will try to do a video shortly so you can see that before Easter and see how to do that. So that's one bit of show and tell. The other bit is last week when I made the baskets with you, I finished off the one that was made with cardstock and the pansy paper. So there it is like that. And then I cut a piece of designer paper 3 by 3 and just scored at 1 inches so that it was 1 inch, 2 inch. So every column was 1 inch. And there's a little mini one. So there's the size we made last week. And here's the little mini one. And it does hold little eggs in there. So just a little bit of fun there. And then I have a couple of cards to share with you too. And this one here is using that gorgeous Expressions in ink that's going to retire, and it's on sale right now. So just be, if you love that, maybe time to stock up. And all I did was wrap a ribbon around it and add some words. And this punch is not going away. It's on sale too. I use that punch all the time, even just for flagging ends. So I will miss that. And here is a card that I received in a swap. So they've done this like that. This is actually the die from the Slimline cards. And then they used the vellum paper, the vellum in color shimmer vellum paper, and just cut out a bunch of these. So I think they are just gorgeous. And do you know what? This paper, which I have used and used and used, is retiring too, and it is on sale. So I know I sound like a broken record about it's on sale, but I know that many of you love to save money, and these papers are gorgeous. So I only have bits and pieces left of some of this. So it's the in colors that were new this last year, and this package is regularly $16.25. It's on sale for $13. So just want you to know, because, you know, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't keep you informed of that kind of thing. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember, leave a comment for a chance of receiving this. Oh, I just thought of something. You know how my brain goes sideways. What about Wink of Stella on here? What do you think? I think we need to add a little bit. So Wink of Stella, for those of you who don't know, is like a glitter pen, and it just paints on and adds some glitter. I'm going to add it right here. There we go. And although it's hard to see on camera, it does start to add some glitter there. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me. If you can give me that thumbs up, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube, that really helps my visibility there. So thank you so much, everybody. Remember to look at those memories and more cards and envelopes. They'll save you time. Take care. Bye-bye.